Hello and welcome to the news at 10 live on NTA News 24. I'm Comfort and Modu. Good to have you join us. Let's start the news with some of the trending stories. National Assembly demands improved capital project funding for 2024 budget. Attention on trade, investment, infrastructure development as Chinese Foreign Minister visits Nigeria. And EFCC detains 10 operatives in Lagos over alleged missing items. On the news at 10, live on NTA News 24, and the National Assembly Joint Committee on Appropriations wants the Presidential Economic Team to take urgent measures towards ensuring the release of more funds for capital projects for improved impacts on citizens. This came up at a meeting to review the performance of the 2024 budget as both sides continue engagement on the 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget proposal. In a statement, the Joint Committee observed that as contained in the report submitted by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, the overall performance of the 2024 budget stands at 43%, with recurrent achieving 100%, while capital was just 25%. Our Minister of Budget, Atiku Bagudu, explained that the huge expenditure on recurrent was channeled to fight insecurity and boost agricultural production and other economic activities. The National Assembly urged government to release more money for capital projects, advocating the ratio for recurrent and capital should be 60-40 as against the current 80-20%. In continuing efforts to sweep the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC clean up corrupt tendencies, 10 officers of the Lagos Zonal Command of the Commission are being detained over investigation of some missing items. The officers who were arrested last week on the directives of the chairman of the commission, Ola Olukoyede, are answering questions related to the theft of some operational items. And a statement by the head of the media and publicity of the commission says investigators are making good progress and those found culpable will be subjected to internal disciplinary processes. The Nigerian Police Force National Cybercrime Center has intensified its operations against cybercrime, apprehending several suspects involved in identity theft, business email compromise, and money laundering. Francis Form reports that the arrests highlight the growing threats of cybercrime and innovation efforts of the police to combat these crimes.
This is the second parade of suspects by the Nigeria Police Force. Among the suspects being paraded at the National Cybercrime Center is a suspected hacker who allegedly hacked the WhatsApp of 2 ministers and 3 senators.
Everyone uses girlfriend's personal information to open multiple accounts with a large digital bank in Nigeria and rented them to cyber criminals. The cyber criminals hacked WhatsApp accounts belonging to prominent Nigerians, including senators, ministers, top government functionaries.
Also, another suspect who specializes in hacking business emails to defraud companies and launder money internationally has been apprehended. Investigations by the center revealed that thousands of compromised email credentials were recovered from the suspect Skype account, which the syndicate used to coordinate its operations.
So he is, the one that is actually responsible for most of this WhatsApp hack. So we should be able to, know when to give her 6-digit number and when not to do that.
And every offense committed leaves a trace in forensic investigation. And that is what we do in the police now. We go scientific to get you. No torture, no harassment.
And these 3 suspects were also arrested for unlawfully hacking a WhatsApp account to defraud their victims of 24 million naira. The suspects confessed to their roles in the crime, which involved impersonating the victim's business associate to solicit funds under false pretenses. Director of the Cybercrime Center assures that investigations are ongoing to recover the stolen funds. Francis from NTA News.
Our President Tinubu expresses his profound sympathy to the military authorities following the loss of 6 brave soldiers during a dawn terrorist attack on January 4, 2025 on an army base in Sabon Gida, Dambuwa, Borno State. In a statement by Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President extends his heartfelt condolences to the families of the fallen soldiers whose sacrifice in defending our nation will forever be honored and remembered. In the wake of this tragic event, President Tinubu seeks a thorough investigation into uncovering the circumstances that led to the unfortunate incident and ensure that it serves as a valuable lesson to prevent similar occurrences. And the President commends the armed forces for their swift and decisive response, especially the air component in launching effective retaliatory strikes. The targeted air raids resulted in the significant neutralization of numerous terrorists and the destruction of their assets as they attempted to flee. In the same vein, President Tinubu appeals to Nigerians and the media to support the military's effort to restore peace and security in our beloved nation. Away from that, the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is in Nigeria. He arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at 7 p.m. Local time, where he was warmly received by Ambassador Dunoma Umar Ahmed, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and other top government officials, including the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria. His Excellency, the Ambassador Yu Dunhai, and the visit is aimed at strengthening bilateral relations between China and Nigeria, fostering cooperation in key areas such as trade, investment, and infrastructure development. Wang Yi's visit is expected to deepen diplomatic ties, promote mutual understanding, and explore new avenues for collaboration. And he's scheduled to hold high-level talks with government officials discussing pressing global issues, regional security and economic development. The visit underscores Chinese commitment to enhancing its partnership with Nigeria, driving growth and promoting peace and stability in the region. And joining us to speak on the visit of a foreign minister to Nigeria, Chinese foreign minister to Nigeria, is Beng Shaman, former director news at Voice of Nigeria, currently in Deutsche Welle, at Deutsche Welle Africa office, and he's joining us to speak to the essence or significance of the foreign minister's visit. Good to have you join us on the news.
Good morning, Comfort.
Well, so let me start by asking you what's the implication of this visit by the Chinese foreign minister to Nigeria?
Yeah, you see, Wang Yi's coming to Nigeria is to kind of play that usual role of front runner. He is here to still announce and emphasize, tell Nigerians that Nigeria and China are still good friends. And in doing so, thereafter you're likely to see some trade delegations coming in, and thereafter another high kind of powered delegation coming, either led by a premier or something. So in all, it's been good so far, because when Boko Haram first struck, Nigeria was looking for arms in America, in Europe. They never got. They even tried through the window in South Africa. They never got. But China came in handy. So all the while it's been good between Nigeria and China. And I think that it's a relationship that should be symbiotic, so to speak.
So how can we as a country make the most of this visit?
Yeah, we can make the most of it by seizing the opportunity, because China has always remained a friend who will invest in a situation where there is insecurity. Look at the road constructions, where you never thought that some foreigners will go do some construction work, you find them there. Is it the railway system that will spine through bushes? You find the Chinese there. And so they all are here to assist. And you could see their headquarters along the airport road, Chinese Civil Aviation Construction Company. Apart from that, in terms of realizing the regional power or nature of Nigeria, you could see that they're constructing the ECOWAS parliament or ECOWAS secretariat along the airport, and it is tagged the Eye of West Africa. In other words, when you are passing through that airport, either going or coming, you must pass and see that eye. In other words, all eyes are on Nigeria, and therefore we expect that the railway system will work. And again, you look at the balance of trade. You can see that it's a bit lower compared with what China gets from us. It's higher. I mean, what we get from China is higher than what China gets from us. So there is the need for Nigeria to up its own ante. What can Nigeria export to China? Two great countries with great populations, and populations that you don't joke with. Therefore, there is high demand of Chinese products. There is high demand on the side of Nigeria. No wonder you have this currency swap. Currency swap implies that Nigerians who are doing business in China or that want to go to China do not need to have the dollars changed to yuan or naira being changed to dollars in order to do business. You can just do it directly with the Chinese yuan, and
okay, so let me come in
easy.
here. I understand that the Chinese foreign minister is also visiting 3 other African countries, and the visit to Chad was not quite pleasant from reports that we have received. So what can you tell us about these visits to Chad, Namibia, and the Republic of Congo?
Yeah, you see, let me call it this way. When you see Russia trying to infiltrate the Sahel region, and you can see some West African countries already aligning with Russia, Russia is a friend, a permanent friend to China for the time being. Therefore, it also tells China to seize the opportunity and begin to make some inroads. Remember, before now, these countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, they've sent France packing, then Chad is following. So if you send these countries packing, it also implies that you would need some security, some equipment from China, and that's why the Chinese Foreign Affairs Minister, Wang Yi, is also going to Chad. You look at the railway system that is being built in Namibia, so it's a thing that China simply wants to ensure that countries are linked by railway. Apart from that, in terms of trade and balance of trade, they have been a kind of symbiotic, and at the United Nations, therefore, there might be some moves to also woo these countries permanent representatives at the UN. Each time there is a motion, each time there's an issue that requires some voting. So you see that they might be leaning towards China, and that's why this man has to go to these countries to ensure that he woos them for China. Okay. But again, in wooing them, they should also ensure that China helps these countries.
Very important points you've made there. Thank you so much, Ben Shaman, former Director News at the Voice of Nigeria, and he's now with Deutsche Welle Africa office. Thank you so much for making out time to join us on the news, and like you said, we look forward to having better bilateral relation with the Chinese people and government as well.
Thanks for having me.
Meanwhile, Chad says its military has foiled armed assault on presidential complex in the capital in N'Djamena. And the attack came just hours after China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with government officials in the capital. Media sources revealed that at least 19 people have been killed by armed fighters that stormed the presidential complex, according to the government. And of course, 8 out of 24 armed men were killed in the failed assault on the president's office on Wednesday evening, and one member of the security forces also died in the gun battle. The attack comes less than 2 weeks after Chad held a contested general election that the government hailed as a key step towards ending military rule, but what was marked by low turnout and opposition allegations of fraud. The news at 10 is reaching you live on NTA News 24. Still ahead. Again, tragedy strikes Ogoja Central Market. Fire destroys property, leaving traders in despair. Good to still know that you are there. Now, Northern Nigerians Growth and Development, a non-governmental organization, has welcomed and commended the federal government's foreign currency voluntary disposition and repatriation and investment scheme launched under Executive Order Number 15 of 2023. Sheikh Mohammed Datti reports from the organization's press briefing to announce its support for this initiative.
Nigeria has outlined its objectives, including promoting investment, public policy advocacy, and corporate social responsibility. At a recent briefing, the organization's acting secretary of public policy and advocacy, Haruna Buhari, shared the outcomes of the 17th steering committee meeting. The organization has welcomed the government's voluntary currency disclosure scheme introduced under Executive Order 15, 2023. The initiative is seen as an opportunity for the government to harness significant benefits migrating from borrowing to using these resources as foreign direct investments.
The GDNN recommends that lobby of these wealthy Nigerians and diplomacy is key in this effort, and humility on the part of Mr. President in attracting these wealthy Nigerians will do more.
The organization has also made key recommendations, including the integration of dairy development into new Ministry for Livestock Development, adopting the PTF model to address poverty and job creation, and completing the abundant Ajakuta Kaduna Kano Katsina gas pipeline project.
The GDNN also recommends to government that the solid minerals mining sector will benefit a lot from being exposed to the same model the oil and gas sector was and still is subject to, in which sufficient data on these minerals were generated.
In its final remarks, the organization urged the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and the Minister of Health to visit the Pape Hill settlement in Bwari, taking immediate action to address the health hazard posed by overcrowding. In Abuja, Sheikh Mohammed Datti, NTA News.
Traders and residents of Ishibari in Ogoja local government area have lost property worth millions of naira to fire outbreak which occurred on Tuesday, January 7, 2024 at the central market of the local government. Rosemary Oko reports that the natural disaster has left traders in an untold hardship.
In Ishibori, Ogoja local government area of Cross River State has been gutted up in flames. The incident, which happened about 8 p.m. on Tuesday, 7th of January 2025, left many traders and residents camping for safety as goods worth millions of naira got destroyed. Traders were found lamenting in chaos as they salvaged the remnants of their goods that were ravaged by the fire. They are appealing to the government for support.
I was shocked when my sister called me that the whole shop in this place got burned. So when we came yesterday with all the load that is here, we just saw the fire flame very wide. So we don't know how it started.
Every everything God born. Right now, as we are talking to you people, we don't have anywhere to go. We don't have anything to hold on. Nowhere, no help anywhere. We don't even have anything to feed our children. We are stranded. We need help.
Any help they can render to me, I will receive because I'm here. So I just lost my husband and just coming out from my business.
The Director General of the State Emergency Management Agency, Jill Antiga, while assessing the damage done, assures them of government intervention. The chairman of Ogoja local government area, Christopher Agbe, miffed by the recurring fire incidents in the local government area, says investigation will unravel the cause of the inferno. He appeals to the shop owners and traders to be rest assured of government intervention to ameliorate their sufferings.
On the side of SEMA, we will do the assessment, check the extent of the damage, what has been damaged, all those affected, and then we'll do a report. They will decide on what kind of relief, support they will bring to the people being affected.
I think that we are putting our heads together. I was hoping to announce our assembly member today. I was also trying to say I will speak with the governor, the deputy governor and the governor. Let's know exactly what.
It is important to note that similar fire incident had happened on Sunday, 5th of January, barely 48 hours, few meters away from the current location, at precisely the State High Court in Ogoja, which calls for concern by all in Ogoja. In Ogoja local government area of Cross River State, Rosemary Oku, NTA News.
A magistrate court sitting in Jamaica, Yola, Adamawa State has convicted and sentenced one Nuhu Isa to 6 months imprisonment with an option of 20,000 naira fine for criminally intimidating FRSC patrol team. The defendant, a passerby, had on 5th of January 2025, while recording FRSC patrol team, intimidated and further instigated passengers to mob the FRSC team who were conducting their lawful duty. Reacting to the judgment, the court martial FRSC Shehu Mohammed had emphasized the unwavering commitment of the FRSC towards creating safety on all Nigerian roads, and further reiterated that FRSC staff cannot be deterred by threats from miscreants. This is still the news at 10. Let's take another look at our top stories. National Assembly demands improved capital project funding for 2024 budget. Attention on trade, investment, infrastructure development as Chinese Foreign Minister visits Nigeria. EFCC detains 10 operatives in Lagos over alleged missing items.
This is NTA News 24.
Ayimba International begins the year on a high note. Our sport desk has details of these as well as some international sports news.
Nigeria international Anthony Nwakeme was on the score sheet for Trabzonspor, who opened their Turkish Cup Group A campaign with a 3-0 win against Alanyaspor on Wednesday. Edin Visca opened the scoring in the 49th minute before Simon Banza doubled the lead. Nwakeme netted in the 67th minute to put Trabzonspor 3-0 ahead in the Cup encounter.
3 oyuncuyla geliyor. Edin Visca boşa bıraktı. Vakayeme 3. gol şansı. Vakayeme ve gol. Vakayeme.
The goal against Alanyaspor was Nwakeme's second in all competitions this season. Also on Wednesday, former Super Eagles forward Brian Ideye scored the winning goal as Ayimba defeated Nasarawa United 2-1 in the Nigeria Premier Football League MPFL encounter. The People's Elephant put an end to their run of 7 league games without a win. Substitute Ideye fired home the winning goal in the 62nd minute. Eyimba moved to 7th position on the table with 27 points as Nasarawa United remained bottom of the table following the defeat.
Share Diagwo there with sports update, and that's the news at 10. I'm Comfort Amodu.